What's up, YouTube? Brett Hoover from Rants here. As always, guys, if y'all enjoy our content, don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave that comment down below. All right, so the Book of Boba Fett, sees its audience score nosedive in just a week, in just one episode, literally nosedive. Let's get right on into this. Let's get into this, and I'll talk about it a little bit. It says the audience scores for Lucasfilm, The Book of Boba Fett, are in free fall following the release of the show's third episode. When the show first released, the audience score on Rotten Tomatoes was sitting at a respectable 84%, albeit from only 61 user ratings. It had an average rating of 4.2 out of 5. That audience score has plunged 20 points down to 64%. It now has an average rating of 3.5 out of 5 from 1,144 ratings. Recent published reviews on the website are not kind to the show. Scott S. gives the show a 1 out of 5. He writes, they've completely destroyed this character. Would have been better if they didn't make this show at all. Completely agree. Ricardo V gives the show a half star out of 5. He writes, I can't believe someone was paid to write this. This is an insult to all the actors, set designers, and all other artists who put their hard work on this show. Chris M gives the show a 3 out of 5 stars. He writes, I'm mainly giving this 3 stars for the nostalgia factor. It looks very well made and has fantastic actors in it, but it is in desperate need of an actual plot. Jacob G gives the show a 1 out of 5. He writes character assassination. The asinine writing combined with the uninspired direction make for an unholy concoction. I never would have thought it possible to make a show about Boba Fett a chore to watch. Awesome job, Disney. All right, you know what? Won't read anymore. I'll just get right on into it. This is kind of what I've been thinking too. I feel like you have this great character. I mean, in the last episode, you had a Rancor, you had Boba Fett, you had a Wookiee bounty hunter, you had a chase scene, you had all of those things all in it, and all of it was bad. You even had Danny Trejo in it, and it was still bad. Um, what does that tell you? I mean, I'll tell you where a lot of people they talk about the Power Rangers, on their little scooters and whatnot, in the episode ruining a lot of it. And don't get me wrong, it was bad. It was really bad. But it's not that ruined that episode for me. What ruined it was you have all of these moments where the Boba Fett that we thought we knew would have just gone guns blazing, taking out everybody in his path. Cool fight scenes. I mean, him versus, the Wookiee bounty hunter would have just been cool alone, that fight scene. But it was bad. It was terrible, terrible. And the reason why it was so bad was simply because the director has the right ideas, but just doesn't know how to follow through with it. Now, I don't know what the reason is behind that. I don't know if he feels like he's maybe got an actor that's a little bit too old. Maybe he wants to have a pacifist Boba Fett. Maybe he thinks that it's a Boba Fett above violence. Because of course, we hear he wants to rule by respect, not necessarily by fear. Well, the problem is the only way to get respect is to actually rule by fear, or to at least do something to be feared. I mean, you're a crime lord, for goodness sakes. Like, I mean, how are you going to go in there and just be like, well, I'm do everything on the up and up? Don't be a crime lord then. What was the whole point of taking over if this was what you were going to be? I feel like this show has good uh, intentions, and it has good uh, it places things in the right place. It just doesn't follow through on it. in a lot of ways. Like the plot, like I said, the plot is going somewheres, and then you're like, okay, we're about to see this really cool scene, but they never follow through on that plot. That's the biggest problem with this. The flashback scenes were just ridiculous. Only action that was going on. I mean, we weren't getting a Boba. We really did not need to know anything about Boba Fett before or after he got out of the Sarlacc pit. We didn't need to know that. We really truly didn't. The whole thing of him, you know, with the Tuscan Raiders, waste of time from the very beginning, just complete and total waste of time. It troubles me. It worries me that all the goodwill that Disney has found with the Mandalorian season 2 um, is just thrown out right now. Because look, if you can't make a show interesting that has Boba Fett in it, you're probably not going to make a very good show on anything. I mean, I'm really, really worried now about seeing the Obi-Wan series because I'm like, hey, they ruined Boba Fett. Are they going to ruin Obi-Wan Kenobi? Because if they do that, you know, there's few moments. There's few moments that I'm like, okay, if you ruin this particular character, I'm almost done with it. Um, and I say that because when they ruin the movies, I was always like, yeah, but we still got like the Mandalorian, we got the series, we got the comics, we got those, and now they're ruining the series as well. So I'm kind of like, okay, where do I start turning to when they ruin everything? I mean, why am I watching a franchise that really doesn't have very much respect for itself in a lot of ways? And I'm kind of getting to that point. I really truly am because I'm like, okay, I get it. Mandalorian season 3 is coming up, but how is that going to really be without Baby Yoda in it? I mean, what is that going to be like? Is it going to be any better? Are they going to go down the same route? Because in a lot of ways, the Mandalorian feels more like Boba Fett should in a lot of ways. He still has a respect thing going, but he don't mind shooting somebody in the face when it comes down to it. That's all I ask from Boba Fett. You don't have to be the villain. You don't have to be like this epic evil crime lord. You just gotta be yourself. Feel like this isn't the Boba Fett that we grew up with. This isn't what everybody imagined Boba Fett was like. But unfortunately, this is the Boba Fett we've got. Um, and I think it's ruined this character forever. Forever. I mean, you can't unsee certain things. And I feel like, when Boba Fett is getting saved by, you know, a teenage girl with a little sharp knife from a Wookiee that's just completely beating the living daylights out of him. I'm like, there's really no hope at that point. He gets saved. He's the damsel in distress in this series. That's not exactly where I saw Boba Fett being in this series. So I don't know. I kind of feel like this is the ratings going down make perfect sense. I hope they can turn it around. But like I said, you can't unsee what you've already seen. So even if it's fantastic going forward, it still has this, picture of Boba Fett that is really debilitating to his character in a lot of ways, to his persona in the comics and the series and the movies, and just who people just thought he was altogether. Um, I don't know if you can ever change that once that narrative is changed. I don't know if you can ever go back, whether it's in this series or in something else. So I don't know. I kind of feel like this is one character, like Luke Skywalker, that they kind of ruined in a lot of ways. But anyways, guys, let me know what y'all think in the comments down below. Um, do you think the character of Boba Fett is just completely ruined at this point? Or do you think that maybe there is a road to salvation for this show? I personally don't see it. I really don't. I've been bored through 3 episodes. I thought episode 2 was decent, but it wasn't interesting still. So let me know in the comments down below what you think. As always, guys, thanks for watching. Y'all take care.